Okay, hi everyone. So today I decided that this week I would do another shelf tour. Now I don't remember when the last time I did one was, but I know I have obviously rearranged my shelves since the last time that I did one, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. I do like to do a shelf tour at least every time I reorganize. Significantly, like I do a significant amount of reorganizing, and I did because last time I had my shelves kind of color coordinated, and now I'm doing things entirely by like alphabetical. So I'm just gonna go through and show you how I have everything organized, and we can start with the top of my shelves. Okay, so this here is the top of my first shelf. So this is kind of where I have mostly like Hojung and Hotshot things. So you can see I have my signed page from Hotshot there, my signed Polaroid from him that is signed to my name there, and I actually have my Shihyun Polaroid here. Oh, and also, I don't know, I hope the audio is fine. My tripod actually reaches up high enough to see the top shelf, and I am considerably shorter than it. My phone is very much above my head, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Anyways, but behind that I just have my Hojung Season's Greetings. I think that was for 2019, but I want to keep it up just because I can. I don't know, it's just displaying a picture, so it doesn't really matter. And then I have my 101 light stick over here, and then we have Hotshot paper dolls to kind of round it all off. No, those aren't my favorite things, but I made them, like I put them together myself, and I don't really want to like throw them away, so they stay there. But moving on. Okay, then next here we just have some more things on display. So I have my Uptension fanship kit here. They're 2021 Season's Greetings. It's Kogil month for May. Then my Uptension light stick is behind that. I kind of wanted to be able to display it better, but there's just not really a good place for it. And then we have my Polaroids that I have with Huani and Xiao. And my 101 2019 Season's Greetings is behind that. I just decided to put it on a OT11 picture and display it because I don't necessarily want to like take it down. And then we have my NCT light stick. And yeah, I think that's pretty cute. I don't know, but moving on. Okay, so this shelf is a little bit taller, so not the easiest to look at, but yeah, this one looks the same as it was before. I just kind of added those One Direction perfume boxes there because I had them and I think they're kind of cute. And they were just in my closet, so I figured why not put them there. I have my Somi signed Polaroid, some photo books and things like that up there. Nothing too special, and I think this is almost exactly the same as it was before. So then we can move on. Alright, so here's my first shelf. As I mentioned, everything is in alphabetical order, so you can see I have AB6 here first, and then we have Very Good and Big Star here. And then we have the start of my Blackpink collection. Yeah, there's that first shelf. My second shelf here honestly does not have much on it, but we have the rest of my Blackpink collection here. My album collection for Blackpink isn't quite finished yet, so I left some space on the shelf for that. And then we move on to my Brave Girls collection. So my Brave Girls collection is pretty small, so it like fits kind of right there perfectly. And then we move on to my CIX albums. So I also left some room for that collection as well because I have chapter 3 coming. I have both versions of that album coming, and then I have their Strange Dream album, I think is that album, but I have that one coming as well. So I'll have 4 albums to add to the shelf eventually, and I just in general need some room for it. So that's why there's a pretty good chunk of space here. It will be filled up eventually, but for now, I figured I'd just leave some space instead of making things harder for myself in the future. But then we can move on to the next shelf. Alright, so yeah, here's the next shelf. You can kind of see here I have CLC to start out, and then Daya. And I put these bigger albums like horizontally because that's the only way they'll fit on the shelf. But yeah, we just have all of my Daya albums, and then we move on to Hotshot. There's the few Hotshot albums I have, and then we go IOI and Impact. But you can see there is still some room to grow on this shelf. I don't know how much I will be able to add to these artists specifically. I guess we'll see, I don't know. But yeah, that was just this shelf. Alright, so then we move down to the next shelf. So here you can see I have my ITZY albums here. I was very happy to see that my Guess Who albums fit there. And I didn't really have to move the shelf at all. But then we have my IZ*ONE albums, and then like half my JBJ collection over here. And if we move to the next shelf, here we just have the rest of my JBJ collection, and it moves into JBJ 95, and then it goes into Kang Daniel. So I just recently finished out this collection here with adding in all the versions I didn't have already, so I think it looks really nice now, and I'm pretty excited about that. But then I have Kim Jae-hwan, his albums. I have his newest album on the way, so that one will be added there eventually. But then kind of holding those things up, I do have Kingdom's album. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like For Real Collect Kingdom, which is fine, but I just do have the one album for now. If I like their next comeback, I will probably consider buying it depending on when it happens. But yeah, again, just some more space to grow here. I definitely don't like filling my shelves all the way, even though I feel like it would look nicer if they were all the way filled, but I also feel like I always have so many things on the way, like I don't want to stuff the shelves full and then have to reorganize everything once it all comes in. So, but then we can move on to the next shelf. So this shelf here is my NCT shelf. So I just have everything in the order of release here, and I do it by unit. So we have 127, and I do have their Japanese albums mixed in there, and then we have NCT Dream, and then 2018, and then Wavy, and then we have 2020. I think once I get Hot Sauce, I will not have enough room for everything on this shelf, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because I don't know, it's just like a little frustrating that I don't know, I'm never like really happy with my NCT shelf, specifically because they have so many different sized albums and just a lot in general, so it's like I don't really know what to do with it all the time. But this is what it looks like for now. I am pretty happy with it just because I like to see everything together like this, but also like especially with their bigger albums, it's really tough to kind of figure out where I want to put everything, and I actually don't have everything. Like I don't have every NCT album on this shelf because some are just too big. So but then we can actually move down to the shelf underneath this. So this shelf here you can kind of see is just kind of like a display shelf, and you can kind of tell I've been going alphabetically like across all shelves, but this one is kind of an in-between one, and it's like a short shelf that like nothing fits on, and I don't know, it makes sense not to like kind of continue the pattern here. But I did kind of make this into a display, so you can see over here I have X1's albums, and I just specifically wanted to display my Hangul album, Hangul signed album, and then I have my 101 Kino over here. I just have it closed because I don't care to see the picture on it. And then I have my Rollin album, my signed Rollin album on display. It is one of my favorite albums that I own, so I definitely wanted to show that off. And then I have a random Chaewon standee there because I think I got it as a freebie for something, so I just decided to like stand it up. And I have some light sticks here. It's hard to display like these kinds of light sticks because there's no real good way to like stand them up, so I don't really have them displayed, but those are just my Uptension and 101 light sticks. I have my AB6 standee. I actually pulled, I think I got accidentally 2 standees in one of my Vivid albums, so I wanted to display one because, especially because it's OT5, I think it's cute. So yeah, and then I just have some hotshot things behind this Neozone Kino. So this is a signed photo book. I decided to display that out of the few hotshot signed things I have, just because I felt like it'd be better to display that. And then I have my hotshot light stick behind that as well. You can kind of see that, and that's kind of this shelf. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I'll probably rotate things out if I feel like I need or want to, but I think I'm pretty happy with it. I only really put the X1 albums on this shelf because otherwise they'd kind of go on my overflow shelf, and there's not really any room for it. Plus, I kind of wanted to display my signed album, so I mean, yeah, that's kind of that. So then here we have my next shelf. So this is basically just my newest shelf. And yeah, just where I have all my newest albums. I left some room on this shelf because of their newest album. I haven't bought it yet, but I plan on getting it eventually. But I do have my Sungwoo album on this shelf as well, just because he has one album, and I feel like it fit there, so why not? But yeah, that's a pretty simple shelf. So then next we have my shelf with Park Ji-hoon and SuperM. This shelf is pretty simple, don't really have much going on here, but I left some room mostly because the next group wouldn't fit in this area, so we just have some extra room there. Plus I do need to get some of Ji-hoon's albums still. I think I'm missing 2 of his 360 albums, so those will have to get bought eventually. Moving on. So then next we just have my Twice shelf. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and I'm running out of room very quickly, and I know after their comeback I probably will not have any room on this shelf, so I'm getting a little bit stressed about that. But this is how it looks for now. Pretty happy with it. I think their albums just look best when they're kind of in chronological order, so yeah, there's that. And then we move down again, and this is just where I have my Uptension albums, and I put Donghan solos with WeI. Makes sense. Don't have their new album yet, WeI's, but I should have them soon. They're definitely bought. And then we have Yoon Ji-sung. I have his albums, and I do have one copy of his new album bought, so that'll be added here eventually. And then lastly, over here, I just have one Wii. So if their albums were smaller, they would go up where on the shelf that New East is at, but their albums are just too big and don't fit on that shelf, so I just put them down here. I think they'll probably stay down here because I just don't have anywhere else to put them, so it just makes sense to keep them where they fit, I guess. Anyways, we can move on. So next we have this shelf, which obviously you can see nothing is really on. I have Uptension's Japanese albums here. I just haven't really put them where they belong yet. I guess I've just been a little bit lazy with cleaning my shelf and like reorganizing it, because it is mostly done, but there's just some things, you know. And then here we have a whole bunch of Sungwoon things that I want to get rid of, but I don't know how because nobody wants them. Yeah, it's just like my fan site goods that I have and other extra merch things. Like, I just don't know how to get rid of them because nobody like collects them like that. I don't know. I really wish I would never have bought these things in the past, because now it'll be impossible to get rid of them, but I like don't want them at all anymore, so it's rough, but I'll live. But then you can see here I just have the bigger NCT albums that wouldn't fit on the shelf. I don't really know what to do with them, so I just kind of put them there. So I can move on to the next shelf. Alright, so the next shelf it still kind of follows the alphabetical thing a little bit, but so I have some SuperM things over here just because I don't know where to put them. And I have my Girl Kind albums here. They're signed, plus, I don't know, I feel like I don't fully collect them enough to put them up top where they would probably belong, but I also don't want to just kind of hide them away on my extra shelf, so I don't really know what to do with those yet. But you can see it kind of moves into UNB and Unity, and then we have all of my 101 albums, and up here is just my Sungwoon fan site photo book. Again, something I want to get rid of but don't really know how to go about doing that. If you're at all interested in these Sungwoon things, you can let me know and we can talk about me selling them to you. For now, I just really don't know what to do with these things. It's so frustrating. But and then the last few albums are kind of hidden. So these albums right here are just my We in the Zone albums and my Younguk and Shihan album. So We in the Zone is disbanded, and also Shihan isn't an idol anymore, so like he's not trying to do that kind of thing anymore, so I just kind of put them there. I probably normally would have put them on my main shelf just because I love them, but I feel like, I don't know, it kind of fits on the shelf, kind of fits the theme, I guess. But regardless, you know, they're there. Anyways, moving on. So here's just the bottom shelf of my first shelf, not very important. This is just where I keep bigger things, and my boxes where I keep like extra merch things, which is this one down here, and then I keep trade and sale notes in these two. And you can kind of see I have some on top that I haven't put away yet, but that's just what's there. And I have my vinyl collection down here, along with some CDs and DVDs that I have, but mostly my vinyl collection, which I really love. This is a new edition. Very happy about this one. I like that a lot. And I also got this one, Unbroken by Demi Lovato. This album is good, despite how much I'm not like the hugest fan of Demi Lovato in general. The album is so good. And I also have one on the way that I'm super excited about. It's Selena Gomez's Stars Dance album, and I love that album so much, and it's on the way to me now. Very thankful to Urban Outfitters, except not really, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that's that. And then here, I know the lighting kind of sucks, but this is just all of the things that I'm selling. I just have some old NCT albums here, a lot of CLC extras. I decided to sell my H&D albums along with one of my Samuel albums, some Uptension albums. I have my Damaged Blackpink album there. I don't really know what to do with it. I'll probably keep that album specifically and just do something with it, but for now it's there. And I decided to sell most of my Pentagon collection, and of course we have some more Sungwoon things down there, so that's that. If you see anything you're interested in buying, let me know. But then moving on to my last shelf. So right here is just where I keep all my jewel case albums. Sorry for the glare over there, but I just have like Japanese releases from K-pop groups here. All my AKB48 group CDs and singles are there. We have like all of my favorite kind of albums here. You can't really see them at all, but you can see I have One Direction amongst others. But then we can move down, and this is where it gets kind of difficult to adjust my camera, because while my tripod is very good at being tall, it's not great at being short. Yeah, this is kind of my overflow in quotes shelf. These are just albums from groups and people I don't necessarily collect anymore. are people who I don't really take collecting super seriously. So starting from the left, we just have MVP, Legion from UNB and Big Flow. Then we have like FX, Jonghyun from SHINee, MXM, I believe that's Enshia, Pentagon, the one album I am keeping of theirs, Pristin, Reigns, Red Velvet, Samuel. Then we have a few WGSN albums, Woosuk and Gwenlin, and then 100%. And then you can see I just have my 117 album up there. I don't know if I ever explained this, but I just kept that 17 album because it was the first album I ever bought, and I actually still enjoy that album for like what it's worth, so I decided to keep it. But then we can move down to the last shelf. So it's kind of hard to see this, but I just have a lot of photo books and DVDs down here and some albums that are too big to fit on the shelf above. Yeah, a lot of just my NCT photo books and like 101 things and stuff like that. That's just kind of the stuff that is down here, so yeah, that's it. But yeah, I think that is where I will leave off this video. Just a quick overview. Like I said, I like to do this kind of every time I do a major rearranging of my shelves, and I honestly can say I'm pretty happy with how this setup is going for me because it's simple and everything is easy to find if I need to take it off the shelf. So well, I think the rainbow is pretty nice. I think it can be too overwhelming sometimes, and it just doesn't always work out. So yeah, this is definitely how I like it. I don't think I've ever done it this way. I think I've always done it like by group and like kind of bias list order, if that makes sense. So I don't think I've ever done like fully alphabetical, but I am really liking this. Like I said, simple, easy. This is what my shelves look like for now. I'm sure eventually I will show you another shelf tour of an updated thing. I don't know when that'll be, obviously. I always kind of rearrange kind of as a spur of the moment thing, just whenever I feel like it, but that was everything. Hope you all are doing well. Kind of a side note, I'm getting the second dose of my vaccine tomorrow, so I'm rather excited, also a little nervous, but yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.